What's up today, guys? Today we're working on a small bike. So a buddy had bought a couple of these, a couple of bikes I should say, and he wanted me to take a look at them and see if we could get them running and do a little video. So I figured I'd start with the little Z50. Tires are shot. It does kick over. That's about all I know about it. It's got a bag on the carburetor, so we're gonna have to take a look at that. I'm guessing one of the boots is done for. It's a Honda, so it shouldn't take much, right? Alright, well, first things first, let's check the oil. So I went ahead and tossed some air into the tires just to make it roll around a little easier. Now, let's see if we got oil, just to make sure, because I'm really hoping, really tempted, just to see if, yeah, we got oil. It's real black. It needs an oil change. I'm really tempted to see if it will just fire up. Wouldn't that be nice? I'm gonna pull this off. Yeah. I'm working on some other projects today. See if the carburetor is loose. That cable shouldn't be a problem though. The throttle work. Throttle does sound like it's going up and down. There's some water in there. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is let's check and see if we got sparks. So I'm going to grab another spark. Well, kicking a little bit. I'm pretty sure it has spark. I remembered why I don't really like these little bikes. It has spark, so it's pretty good there. Put this back on. I'm really hoping we could just give it some gas. I don't like smaller bikes per se to play with because they're kind of a pain in the rear because they're small. Some people like them because they're small. I'm not a huge fan of them. Choke. Okay, it's a keen, so that'll be good. I'm going to bring the camera over here. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out the drain. Let's see if we get anything out. It is on reserve. I just ripped the gasket on that. I heard that. I don't think I have any spares. It is wet in there, it looks like, maybe. Nope. Let's put it on. Nope. Reserve. It does have some gas in it. That carburetor's gummed up. I can already tell it. I could smell it. I can smell it. And I know the gasket got ripped on the petcock because it is now weeping. It's a little wet down here. Usually this let some sort of gas out, so we're definitely in for a carb clean. The gas is old, I can tell you that. So see if we could drain it out, and then probably have to put some new fuel line on, and we're going to have to pull the carb, which isn't too hard, I don't think. I'll have to take the air box off and make sure we get that ground plugged back in. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so I moved operations. This fuel line is rock hard. Should have some new stuff. Just moved over here because it's kind of out of the sun, not really, but it is closer to the AC, which doesn't help either of us. This is another riveted petcock. This is the second one I've had to deal with today. They are their own thing. Usually they're not riveted. Should have double checked to make sure camera is on, and it is running. 10mm. Take this air box off. Probably just throw this in the ultrasonic cleaner. I got it here specifically for this. So smell that bad gas. Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna need a Phillips. Okay, so air box is ripped. I can already see that right here, the boot. So I'll have to glue that. But for now, we won't worry too much about that. I'm just gonna get this all off so we can work on it. Probably ought to pull this. I'll cut the fuel line. I'll cut it. I'll go ahead and cut it up here, and we'll cut this one off. It does have fuel coming out. That is some brown fuel. That's always great quality. It means it's only slightly old. What do you think it is? 8mm? Yep. Dirty. Okay. I'll go ahead and take this off real quick. I'm going to get a rag and stick it in there. Okay, this is loose. Should just, yep. And it's been run. Feel some fuel in there. So let me go get a rag and then we'll break this apart. So while we're cleaning the carburetor, I'm going to go ahead and take this apart. There we go. Put that up there, that's hot. There we go. I'm going to drain this out. Alright, so here we are. You're a little sideways, and I may be a little upside down. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pull this carburetor apart. I tried to get that fuel that's in there to leak out. It would not. So it's either too low or the petcock, which does not have a filter, is not. Alright, so with, with this, there we go. And work it out. There we go. If you didn't know, that's how you get a carburetor off. Oh boy. Wowzas. That is shellacked up. But the first carburetor we dealt with today, that had shellac though. So I'm not going to get too wild with this. I'll just put my screws over here on the magnetic tray. Alright, so I think I'm going to run this a couple times. Yeah, this is why nothing leaked out. This should have had a hole. I believe it should have a hole straight above, or not. I don't know. Should have a leak somewhere here. So I'll just toss that in there. I don't know how it's going to do with plastic. Looks like it has a little set screw to hold that. That's neat. Neato. Never had something like that. Anyways, toss the screw in here so we don't lose it. I guess you guys can't really see what I'm doing right now. I'm just trying to get the okay, well that's stuck. There it is. Jet was stuck in the bore. So I'll toss that in there. This, it'll float, so it ain't gonna do me any good. I'll just wipe her off. But we'll just throw it in like this. Put the choke. Pull this fuel line off, which is rock hard. So gonna say a little heat would probably do it, but to be honest, it's been sitting in the garage and it's like 90 degrees outside today, so I doubt a little garage heat. I'm not crying, I'm sweating. About ready to go back inside. When it gets hot like this, it's best to work a little and then relax a little, I reckon. I got a little frog hanging out around here. I'm just trying to, there we go, get that fuel line off. I'll throw it in there. It may take a couple runs to get this thing all cleaned up. I'm just using some purple simple green. I don't think it's called simple green. That may be. Alright, so we got that. I'll wash this stuff in here. Let me get this all set up and see how it turns out. Alright, so what I'm using to clean it is this Simple Green Pro HD. I mixed it. I really don't know how well I mixed it, but I'm gonna, oh man, I gotta turn it on yet. I'll plug it in and we'll let it run and see how we come out. While that's running, I thought I'd pull the petcock off and throw it in on the second go around. But then I thought, this fuel's just barely dribbling out of here, so I thought this idea will either work really well or not. I just took a tire valve stem, took off the hose that was ripped off here. It slips onto the gas cap there pretty good. I have about 60 psi in this air bubble, and I thought, well, we'll just hit it and helps kind of push the gas out. Makes a little bit of a mess, but I think it'll work for the job to get it out. I'm probably gonna put some mineral spirits in here and cycle that through as well. So first round run, it really cleaned everything up. Some of the passages aren't quite open yet, and there's a little bit of dirt, so I'm just gonna rerun it. I'll throw the petcock in. Got a little bit of this soapy stuff in my mouth, so I'll put a little up here, and we'll rerun. So it looks like everything cleaned up fine. I haven't really shot any brake clean through this. I've been working on the main body. I got all the orifices clean except the main jet here, so I thought I'd just take it out. As you can already see, it is plugged. So time to get out the old tools of the trade here and try to get this gunk out of here. This may take some soaking. That is like tar in there, to be honest. Let me go get a pick. Okay, I probably shouldn't do this on screen, so in case I end up stabbing myself with this pick. I could rerun it in the ultrasonic cleaner, but I don't know how well that's gonna, how effective we're gonna be at that. Maybe what we have to do, or soak it overnight. I wasn't planning to work on this a whole lot more than like what I'm doing now. Well, there we go. I got this part cleaned. Let me clean it out with some brake clean. Oh yeah. Okay. That's pretty much taken care of. Just really got this jet I got to work on, so that won't be too bad, I guess. I'm gonna work on it and come back. I'm gonna have to order a new petcock for this because the old one is kind of trashed. As far as its, oh no, not this. Trying to get everything to line up. Sometimes those needles don't want to go where you want them to. There we go. And I'm just going to kind of put stuff back together before, remember to put loosely before I tighten anything down. I don't remember which way this went. I'm pretty sure this seals this way. O-ring to O-ring. But we may be able to start it today. At least see if it'll fire. I'll go get my can of gas, or it's not a can of gas, it's just my painted surfaces as grounds. That's an interesting concept with this. Come on, Honda. My little run tank. Go. I like to get everything started before I snug everything up too much. I had a little QA50 at one point in time. That was kind of fun to ride, but again, the short, I think mostly what I hate is just the short throw on the kicks. It's not always the funnest to kick a little bike. Not that I ride big bikes, but just okay. It's all snug together. It's a 12. So I'll see if I can add a petcock to my order. Again, we may try to just see if it'll fire up tonight. Ground's on. Last thing I need is this. Now a bike like this, I don't think you can push start it because of the automatic transmission. Should be using my JIS screwdrivers, so I apologize if you're yelling at the screen. Alright, let's go get my fuel bottle. So the float was sticking, just it's still sticking. What the heck? Usually you can get away with. Okay, so that's not good. I'm gonna have to pull that carb off again. But let's see. Should probably screw this in all the way as well. That would probably help. I think that's probably part of the problem here. Let's see. It was not the float, just did not have the fuel bowl drain all the way in. Alright, so I turned the fuel off on my side because this is going to get a little rinky-dinky. But let's move this around. Alright, here we are. Hopefully it's recording. Yep. I turned the fuel off, so hopefully it'll start. Choke is on. Let's see if it'll kick. Choke needs to be off. Points might be a little too dirty. Oh, okay. Yeah, probably should have pulled the points cover, which is, I thought it was, I'm not sure where the ignition is at. It's probably under here. It's been a while since I worked on one of these Honda motors. We can pull the plug, see how it looks. It may be trashed, so let's take a look at that. Well, the plug is a little wet. I'm going to spray it down and see if I can get it cleaned up. Wire brushed it so it looks a little bit better. See if I can get it in and see how it goes. Thought about getting some of that ether out, you know, the giggly gas, but we'll see how this turns out. It's pretty warm today and I've been out here for a bit, so if this doesn't work on the first couple kicks, I'll probably just go inside for a bit to cool down. See how it turns out here. It's definitely on there. This is on the on switch. Come on. Had spark, so I'm not sure why it's wanting to not play nice now, but I'm going to go inside for a bit. So I got a little battery, so I'm going to try to do this quick. I have no idea what happened. I went in to finish watching the movie The Alamo, because that's what I had started doing. I came out, I thought, I'm just gonna see what happens. And it started. I don't know what happened. It runs, so it might be out of gas. So I will give it some more here. I'm gonna have to lift it up over. Fill up the float bowl. Maybe it wasn't getting anything to the float bowl. It's the only thing I could think of. We could try it again. The on-off switch works. The off-run switch, I should say. So I'll give it another kick. It might just be cold at this point. There we go. So it runs. Sounds okay. Smokes a little, but it is a Honda, and it's well used. Might have a dirty filter. I haven't checked that. Can't really run it very far because, again, we don't have a petcock. I'm running some 2-stroke oil on the top end, so that probably is also why it may be smoking a little bit. So it runs. So we're part way there, just like Bon Jovi says. Whoa, we're halfway there. No, no, no. The rest of the song, I don't know it. I'm not a Bon Jovi fan. Never have been, probably won't ever be. So let's give it another kick and see how it does. I think it needs to be, the throttle cable needs to be adjustable. It's got some slight problems. You kind of have to roll on the throttle to keep it going, so it probably has a bit of a vacuum leak somewhere. Could be the carburetor. I didn't replace the O-rings. Definitely don't put the choke on, that'll kill it. Fuel line here, but I think my petcock isn't supposed to come in until Monday, so I got 2 days to mess with this. So I may try to pull the gas tank and dump it out. That would be the smart thing to do. Put some non-ethanol in it. I'll have to look at how to pull it. I think I'll have to pull the seat, but it runs pretty good. Try not to rev it up too much because I don't know how the top end is on this. Handlebars are a little loose. Might be running out of gas now. But hey, it runs. Rolled the dice on that one. So we got a pretty good start. Looks like the tires are deflating, at least the rear. So I'm gonna put it up, I'm gonna let it cool down. I'll put it up for tonight, and we'll come back at it Monday. I got some other projects to work on Monday as well, so I can't get too involved because I was told just see if I can get it running. I got another bike I was supposed to do today, but ended up working on something else, and this took a little bit. That's fine. That's fine. We're definitely getting closer, and I'm working through some of my projects. That's kind of been my holdup lately. I haven't been able to slowly get through things. Things have been kind of not going as successfully as I'd been hoping. You know how life gets to be, and I used to be able to go through projects a little bit quicker. But pretty stoked about that. I don't know why you wouldn't be. So I'm going to pull all my gear off here and again let it cool down and come back at it in a day or two. Alright, so I was planning to work on this yesterday, but the Amazon package came in and a little later than I planned, so here we are. So I put the new petcock on. This is the one I used Only problem is it outputs to the opposite side. Also, I had to take part of it apart to get it up in there. And I used some genuine Honda fuel line as I'm out of Tygon, and I did not realize that. So I put a filter on it because I took the strainer off to get it to fit in there. I'm tempted to change that out. It's above the float bowl, so it ought to drain down, but we'll see. I haven't cleaned the gas tank, so I'm kind of fingers crossed. I mean, we know it runs, just hopefully the filter catches stuff. Irritatingly, the petcock is already leaking, but it is on. So let's see if we can start it. Emissions run. Choke it a little maybe. This is not going to be favorable for me because that is just purely leaking. Let's roll it outside and try to fix it. Okay, so I cranked the heck out of it. We'll put it that way. Let's see if it, I mean, it's sealed now, so. See how the transmission does. Well, it's rideable. I seem to remember my Q850 being one down, then you go up to neutral, and then back up one more to go to second. But this is one down, two down, neutral. I can't make that turn. That was too tight of a turn for my knees. I haven't mowed. Through the blackberries. I don't want to go the other way because I know there's poison ivy. I don't really want to get into it. Alright, round two. I just slid off into the tree. Again, turning on this is kind of wonky because of the my knees are basically riding up into the handlebar. Can't sit back any farther. See where I skip there. High speed run seemed to do okay there. First gear is pretty good. Seems to be doing okay. We'll see how it drifts around the corner. No, I'm joking. I'm not doing that again. I did not realize this was a 3-speed. Alright, so again, you kind of have to roll onto the throttle to keep it running. The petcock is leaking again, even though we snugged the heck out of it. It worked really good for a bit there, so I'm probably going to have to look at getting different petcock at some point. All in all, bike's fun. Again, I did not realize it was a 3-speed. As my previous experiences with little 50cc bikes was the Q850, and it was a 2-speed. Anyways, I'm gonna probably end up leaking out a lot of gas on this because I don't have any way to seal it other than leaning it outside. So, oh well, there goes like half a gallon of gas, non-ethanol. So it'll be like, you know, $2 I'm losing. I'll have to put a pan under it to try to catch it. So anyways, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more. I got another bike to work on here coming up. Actually, I got a lot of bikes to work on, but I got another bike my buddy brought me. So thanks for watching again.